Right, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do next because my laptop just died and I had to somehow manage to plug it in while talking and listening to Stuart. But while Miranda, who's editing this hour of this podcast extravaganza, somehow messages me about what we're going to do, I'm going to read out something else, which is a message from Miss Taylor at St Cuthbert's School in Birmingham. Thank you for listening, Miss Taylor. They're having an election in their school, and they set up their own political parties which have their own policies, and I'll run through them now. The Blueberry Party wants to plant more trees to help with climate change. They want to have pizza, presumably in the canteen in the school, twice a week, and they'd invest in children's mental health. The Strawberry Party, they would allow pets in school. They'd have more PE lessons, and they'd have more school holidays. People might say that's the populist option. The Banana Party want more swimming lessons. They want more teachers in school, and they want a longer school day. What? But it comes with more break times. I see what they're doing there. The Apple Party, their policy is 4 day a week at school. Oh, so 4 day week. Maths twice a day and more science lessons. So that's an interesting list of policies there. And I hope that everything goes well at St Cuthbert's School. Right. I think what we are going to do next is an item about election music. I have to say my favourite bit of the interview with David Dimbleby, hours and hours and hours ago, about 11:15, was when he actually did a little hum of the tune of election night. Although I don't think he got the tune quite right. But we're going to talk about that now because the BBC has resurrected and remixed its iconic Arthur election tune, which you will hear in a second. And we're going to discuss it with David Lowe, the BBC's... David, I was going to say you're the in-house composer, but you're not in-house. You just compose lots of our tunes, aren't you?
I've done a few, yeah.
Yes.
Fun, yeah,
including the famous news channel thing, which when I was a reporter, you'd hear on a loop in your ear for hours and hours and hours while you're waiting to go on. So I hum it all the time. And I'm also pleased to say we're joined by Norwegian pop star legend Sigrid. Hi, Sigrid.
Hello.
What are you actually? Are you actually at a gig right now? By the way.
I am. I'm on festival side in Norway. Sam Smith is playing tonight. Sophie Ellis Baxter and me.
Great. Oh, well, break a leg. Also, you're a political nerd as well as a pop star, aren't you?
I'm interested for sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know what? We've talked about the theme tune. Let's have a little blast of it, and then I'll get you two professionals to disentangle what we're actually hearing. Just to reassure people, it's 2:45 on Wednesday. It's not 9:55 on Thursday night. You haven't fallen into a time loop. Sigrid, I'll get you to analyse as a professional why that's such a good tune. But David, what are the tweaks you've made to it to make it really 2024?
Well, I mean, obviously Rick Wakeman composed the original track, which was actually an album track. It wasn't done for television. So, and that was done in 1975, I think. So the first thing I did was take Rick's album track and then put it into my equipment, and I sort of tweaked it around to get it to set to my time settings. And once I'd done that, I got some real players in, because the key to the whole track is that fanfare, that big sort of heraldic trumpet and horn sound that really calls you to say something big is going to happen. You know, it's heralding the arrival of the king in that case, and obviously it's like a big state thing. So those are the key elements: the horns and the trumpets. And then supporting that, then the second layer is strings, you know, doing a sort of answering call to that. And those are the basic front elements that you hear. And the back elements really are pretty much sort of filling it out with timpanis and percussion, big cymbal crashes, big timpani rolls. And then I added my layer of sort of modern BBC News sounds with my big drum that goes boom, boom, and some of the bass sounds and some of the atmospheres of that. So those are the sort of key elements to the whole thing.
And it's called Arthur because it's based on the legend of King Arthur, the original track.
Yeah, the original
Right.
track by Rick was a whole. He did a whole album about Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table in 1975, which was recorded with a full orchestra. So my version is sort of just an arrangement of that. And obviously for the election, there are loads of different versions of it. We've got the election debates, we've got the main election theme, and we're also doing this big 5 minute build up, to the 10 o'clock hour and the Big Ben chiming. And so I've done a big sort of long build up to that, which has to obviously work under voiceover and the presenters talking. You don't want to get it in the way. So, but you can hear hints of the theme coming through, which reminds you of the occasion.
Yeah. And Sigrid, why do you think that's such a successful tune? Because I just know whenever someone hears it, they end up humming it, or at the very least, it sort of stirs something in them.
I will definitely be humming on this tune for the next few days. I know that. I started listening to it last night. No, this is super fascinating to me as a Norwegian. I spent a lot of time in the UK and I love learning new things. We don't have this tradition in Norway of having an election tune. So this is something new for me. Super fascinating, very cool. I love the tune. It's a mix of the old and the new, and it feels, as a Norwegian, of course, but it feels quite quintessentially British in the big blend of the dramatic, the emotional, the fanfare, and you feel quite like tall in your. I don't know the expression in English, but when you're standing a bit like tall and a bit like poised. That's what the song makes me feel like, and I think that's the energy going into the election as well. It's an opportunity to take part of society, to be a part of change. To use your voice and use your vote. So yeah, good tune.
Yeah,
it's
patriotic in the sort of the best way, David.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a sense of heraldry, of obviously going back through the ages, a sense of all that timelessness, and fanfares are always. So we tuned into fanfares to give us that sense of occasion and, that thing about standing to attention. Yeah, it's like you hear a fanfare and you think, oh, something big and something really important just about to happen. So let's get ready, so they always have that sort of effect.
Yeah, no, Sigrid, just before we listen to some other election themes from the BBC archives, we've had a message from Marco, one of our listeners, who said, I sat next to Sigrid on a flight from the US a year or so ago, and as we were chatting, one of the things she asked me about was how politics in the UK was. She'd actually written a college dissertation on it. Turns out she's not just a very talented singer-songwriter, she also has a huge interest in politics from around the world.
This is embarrassing. I am no expert by any means. I was just very interested in British politics. I had English in school, and I remember writing a paper on UKIP, which was interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to them? Well, they then became the Brexit Party and then Reform. Don't worry, we're not going to quiz you on your British political knowledge. And don't worry, I know you're an interested observer rather than you're not presenting yourself as like some kind of expert. Don't worry. Right, we've raided the BBC Sound Archives to find some old election theme tunes, and we thought we'd play them and just see what emotions they stir. Sigrid, I don't know about you. I was getting a bit of Jaws, a bit of Star Wars, a bit of maybe Horse and Hound TV, if that's such a thing in there. What were you getting?
Absolutely. I mean, it was specifically trippy over here because I'm on a festival site and I couldn't really hear. So I got like little chunks of the song, but that made it even more interesting of a guessing game. Yes, I was thinking this must be from the 80s, maybe.
Yeah, well, there was a variety there. There was a variety there. I mean, David, what is the theme there is kind of bombast and bigness, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the theme that took over from Rick's theme. I think they took Rick's theme off in 2000. I think, and the theme that took over to me didn't have the sort of same heraldic sort of impact as the big horns. It felt a bit warmer to me, and maybe. I don't know what they were steering the brief in a bit of a different way on that one. I mean, it was still very much election, though. It still had that pace and that energy and the dun 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 bum bum dun, you know, all that going on, and so it really is quite interesting to know where they were coming from when they changed the different bits of election music and what their thinking was on that. It's quite good.
And Sigrid, I don't know if you've ever composed a theme tune for something or like something more like a jingle, but how do you think you would approach it differently from writing just a song?
I mean, maybe this will inspire Norwegian politics. We have a Norwegian election next year.
Great. Well, there's time. Get writing.
Yeah, I know. Get on it. No, but we have the iconic Røyksopp track. That is, Røyksopp was commissioned to do the song for, I guess, like the equivalent to like BBC Newscast, like the new song, which is iconic. Everyone knows that tune. What,
Røyksopp did the Norwegian news theme tune?
Yes. Wow. Røyksopp, it's really good. That is the song that I occasionally will just hum after the news.
I'm just looking over at the Newscast squad and hoping that they can find it, and then in a few minutes' time we can then play it. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted your chain of thought. Just the difference between a song and a theme tune. And also I've noticed a lot of TV shows now have songs as their theme tunes.
Absolutely. I think it's very fascinating. I mean, music connects with so many different not careers, but like industries, or it goes into news. It's political, it's cultural, it's in every industry, it's in TV shows, it's in radio, in film, everything. I mean, there's so many films and TV shows that I remember just based off the song, and how you can give new life to a song as well. My song Mirror was just on a commercial for Pride, because we just celebrated Pride in Norway. All of June. So that was super nice to hear one of my songs can have more of a cultural or political meaning behind it. Yeah, it's really great.
Do you have the right to sort of veto things? So if, say, a cause or somebody says, "Oh, we want to use one of your songs," can you say, "No"? Not that I'm suggesting you'd say that for veto it for Pride. Not that at all. But...
I mean, there's definitely political parties that I wouldn't let use my song in Norway. Yeah.
Yes, that's a regular feature of British political life as well. David, not to make you blow your own trumpet, ba-boom, musician pun, what are some other theme tunes of yours that we hear on a regular basis?
Obviously, the BBC News theme is the big one that everybody, is out there all the time. And then in the UK, it's The One Show and Country File, Grand Designs, and
I love Grand Designs.
So I was thinking, actually, interesting question about the difference between a theme tune and a song. And I think a theme tune is a condensed song, because you've got to get the whole message across in 15 seconds, for example. And you've got, I always try and tell a story with my theme tunes, and they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there's usually a sort of a direction that they're going in. And you're trying to attract people's attention, and you're trying to resonate with people. And so you've got a very short time to do that. So it's a different sort of art to writing songs, that with theme tunes. And
also they have to be listenable to again and again and again in a way that doesn't make them annoying. And I have no idea how you do that, because normally repetition is annoying.
Absolutely, that's the idea. And of course, then what you really want is one that lasts a long time and sort of becomes part of people's culture and part of people's familiarity, and it's a soundtrack to people's lives in a way. And that's the joy of doing it when you can achieve that. And And I still absolutely love doing it. It's really good fun.
Oh, and I love the fact that you now post on social media where you take apart all these tunes and explain what you've done or why they're good or why they're working. And that's a great innovation. And yeah, David, thank you for keeping my ears filled when I've been standing there waiting to go on the BBC News channel and I hear your BBC News theme on a loop. So thank you for that.
No problem at all.
And Sigrid, lovely to catch up with you. I remember last time we spoke, you were at a festival, and actually I was in a cupboard in my house because I had COVID. So that tells you how long ago that was.
Wow. And here we are.
Here we are again. Still not in the same place, and
Yes.
but you still at a festival, which is what you were doing last time. So have a great show.
Thank you.
And good luck with all your
Thank
touring
you.
and your composing and everything. And see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
It's funny talking about grand designs. When I was in Birmingham 2 weeks ago to do that tie-up with Newsnight when they were doing their big outside broadcast there, me and producer Chris were walking from the BBC offices to the Newsnight venue, and we walked past Kevin MacLeod, presenter of Grand Designs. Spooky. What a weird connection. Right. Let's have another profile of a political leader. This time it's